Hey guys, welcome back to the Prime Dude Podcast. Rob Edwards here, your host. And I've got a few things to talk about today. I'll go over them real quick right now. One, I'm going to show you my Saphir suede cleaner with my Panama boat shoes from Allen Edmonds. Going to give you a preview of a loafer review I've got coming out from Carlos Santos in the wine shadow color. And then I'm going to focus on one thing from an upcoming show that's so critical because everybody's giving you fashion advice on YouTube. And it's really interesting because I'm stunned at what they're saying. These guys, these experts, are saying you shouldn't do or what you must do when you dress, especially professionally when you're wearing a suit, an odd jacket, slacks, what have you. And most of it's wrong. So much of it's wrong because it's wrong for you or it's wrong for me. It's like, how are you going to tell me all these rules when you don't know where I work, where I live, what my body type is, what I like to wear? And so that's our conversation today because I want to get this out there. I'm going to share a big one with you right here in the beginning of the show. I don't want to give the whole show away, right? This one's coming out in less than 2 weeks. 5 things that you should understand or someone should understand before they give you fashion advice. But it's crazy because there's some folks that have millions, millions of followers that are telling you, you must do this, you can't do this. These are the shoes you have to wear. This is where you should buy your suits. You must do bespoke. You have to do made to measure. What a bunch of garbage. How can you tell someone that if you don't know what their income is? You don't know what weather they live in. Like I live in South Texas. That is going to affect how I dress, both personally and professionally. It's crazy that people go on YouTube and they're going to lose a lot of money on clothes that probably fit well, but aren't suited for them or might not even fit well when someone says you should do something or spend money on something. And they love to say what not to do. That's actually, so you know, a big YouTube thing to get attention is don't do this and put red X's through. And it's effective. There are some things you shouldn't do, like wear light color, tan, light brown dress shoes with your dark suits. That's one I'm pretty hard in the paint on, guys. I don't think it looks good. I have a very popular YouTube short. I don't do many shorts these days, but I have one that did really well because it's saying don't do it. But there's something, they get crazy, and it will start with the shoes. First of all, these are the Panama boat shoes, my favorite shoe of the summer this year from Allen Edmonds. This color is incredible. By the way, when you see this, you see something really light that's easy to get dirty. It's pretty resistant. It's a water-resistant suede, and we're going to clean it today here in a second. But let's jump to one of the rules I'll be covering on the show. Here's your preview, the show coming up, and it's this. This is a derby. This is a sleek, beautiful, dressy, right, with this Bosco green, olive green, closed channel stitching on the outsole from Carlos Santos. And I've done a Carlos Santos review, and I was a little bit tough on him. I'll link it below on their 7991 Chuckaboot. But this is a derby shoe. You can see the lacing system, right? It overlaps. It goes over, actually on this side too, right? Both. Over the vamp. That makes it a derby. And you have all these fashion experts, all these men's fashion experts to say, you can't wear this with a suit. Oxford only. What makes a shoe an Oxford, right? This lacing system is on the inside. It's inset. That's nonsense. Look at this black, beautiful, dressy, sleek shoe. You're telling me that because it's a derby, because this leather is on the outside and not inset, that you can't wear it with a suit? Stop. Just so you know, this is the style. It's from Crockett and Jones. I almost pulled the trigger on it. It's a lot of money. James Bond, right? James Bond wore this shoe, this style, this exact style of derby with dark colored suits and what I believe is Spectre. So that's one of them. They're telling you what shoes you have to wear. You can wear a brogue with a suit, something with some broguing. Do I think a full brogue wingtip like what I have in the McAllister wingtip, which is also black, should that be worn with a dark colored, really professional suit from Allen Edmonds? I'll put some pictures up. Just wore it. I love the shoe. Probably not, but you can. I think that's a lot going on with all that broguing with the wingtips. It gets real. It can get a little busy for a sleek professional look. That's why something more minimalist like this is preferred. Something with just a cap toe, maybe some broguing like a quarter brogue, maybe a little broguing swan neck style design to the Oxford Fine has some broguing, or this, a simple derby that just simply has a lacing system on top, but nothing else. in a very sleek, chiseled, like this is a chiseled square toe, very formal last, but no. What, I can only wear this with chinos or odd slacks? That's crazy. So that's one I wanted to cover with you guys because it gets me fired up. I don't like that people are saying you mustn't do this when you could be on a fixed budget. That's a great shoe to buy because you can wear that with darker colored chinos. You really can. I just think it's a great shoe for suits. I think it changes it up from your typical cap toe, and the fact that the lacing system is where it is not going to disqualify it. And so that's where the show coming up, right? The 5 things I get into that. That's one of them. Is this whole shoe rule. And there's another one, you can't wear loafers with suits. And I love Ask Oki, and he just covered it pretty well. You can wear loafers with a suit. It depends on the fabric, time of year in the suit. I think lighter colored, even your mid to royal blue suits can absolutely be worn with very classy loafers. I'll put this one up. I've got a fantastic loafer that I bought and that I've worn ready for review from Loke. And it's from their professional line. I think it was made in their England factory in Northamptonshire, but I think a lot of it sourced and set up like the last is made in India. That brings the price down a little bit, still maybe a little overpriced. I'll talk about that in the review. But that is, I mean, look at it. That's a beautiful black loafer. If you wear that with a darker suit like a navy, more mid-blue suit, come on, it's fine. So settle down. I think it depends on the environment, where you work, what your office environment is. And if you come to me and you want very specific fashion advice, especially professional, I am your guy. I've done it all. I've worked all over the world. And what you choose to wear is a regional decision. We've talked about weather. We can also talk about the office environment. You can be overdressed when you go into certain environments, especially with clients, especially in sales. You got to be real careful. I see a lot of guys on Discord talking about 3-piece suits, this tie, pocket watches. Stop. Like that would be terrible advice for me or my colleagues. We would look absolutely ridiculous. I was in Central and Northwest Arkansas last week in front of customers, people who spend a lot of money on my book of business. Think about it. Have you been to Arkansas? The Ozarks? Beautiful. Very popular. Lots of people moving there because the cost of living is still pretty incredible compared to a lot of U.S. cities. Yet the fashion of the Ozarks has not changed much. And so what did I wear? Should I take a picture? I didn't, but I just wore a very basic hopsat blazer, dark olive from Proper Cloth, and a couple other items, but always chinos and some nice derby shoes, very comfortable. Weather was beautiful. I did not wear a tie. It was also 95 degrees Fahrenheit. That factors in too. But even if the weather was nice, you walk through certain environments, certain offices and places in Arkansas, in those types of environments, you can be overdressed and you can cost yourself money. I've talked about this before and I will emphasize this on that upcoming show. Your job, if you're working for someone to sell something, to close deals, to drive business and drive results, your job is not to win a fashion show. You are not here or there or wherever you are to just look good. You should look professional. And that means something different for everybody based on their profession, where they're working, and who they're working with. And so that's the most important part, is what does someone know about you before they give you fashion advice? Now, YouTube's great. My channel's here to give you basic advice, maybe provide some rules, some structure, but I get a lot of questions, which I absolutely love. So be careful fencing yourself, boxing yourself in to a narrow mind and an expensive plan to achieve what these YouTube experts are telling you you need to achieve to dress professionally. I'm really focused on the professional here. And so just be careful. A lot of people wearing suits without ties. It's not my favorite, but I'll tell you, there have been some days on the road in places like Florida where I've got my linen cotton mixes, that I have a beautiful, more patterned, busier dress shirt going on under like a hopsack blazer. The tie would just look out of place, and I would be the only person in Miami wearing a tie in the work environment that I'm in. So be careful when you hear words like must, have to, never. Be careful. I'm telling you, you guys, just take it easy. Again, These are the same people that are going to tell you you cannot wear this shoe with a professional suit. That is absolutely ridiculous. All right, so I want to get on to this boat shoe in suede nubuck cleaner. This is from Saphir. It's a great product. I've already used it on this shoe. I've had to clean it only once this summer, obviously because of the color. And I wear this outdoors, doing pool work, I'll do like moderate yard work in this. I forget they're on. They're so comfortable. And I just take the same strips of white cotton t-shirts. There's literally strips you can buy really cheap on Amazon. That's what I do. I don't have time to get t-shirts and cut them. They're so cheap, it's worth just doing that. Literally have a bag of cut up t-shirt strips that I got on Amazon. Of course, I'll link it below. But all you do first, I've got my trusty mister here. So I will spray, right, without spraying you, I will spray a layer of water. You hear that? It's so nice. So I get a layer of water on there, not too thick. And I'm going to rub it in with my hands a little. Of course, I'll put a before picture up. I'm sure I did at some point, talking to myself in the future when I edit. Oh, almost dropped it. You guys have seen this enough. I've dropped a few things. And going to get right to it. So I just take this very carefully. I've already spilt it once. Just one dab. Set it down very careful over here. Switch to my hand. I've got it right here on the end. And I'm just rubbing it in. I'm just going to rub it like that. Just one stroke. One direction, I mean. Multiple strokes. And that's basically all I have to do. I mean, that's it. I'll do it one more time. You can see there's a little brown. And I'm telling you, there's no polish on here. It's taking, and there was brown dirt, as you could see before. I'm going to pick a new spot on the cloth, on the strip here. Putting a little elbow grease into it, because this is a very durable, water-resistant suede. Doesn't mean I'm going to walk in to water like I do with my Olakai shoes, which are fantastic too for especially vacations. And so this is what I've got here. Get around the edges, and that's what it'll look like. All right, I'll do the other one later. And I will put one of these in. Only time I ever use one of these plastic shoe trees. I'll preview the shoe coming next. I'll pop that in there. Right, I do want it getting nice and dry. These are great, by the way. If you haven't seen these, they're from a company called Kingsland Shoe Project. I'll link them down below. I do the Amazon link thing, guys. It won't add any money to the charge. So if you use a link, that's great. My affiliate link down there, but I got it ready to go. And I'll set this down to dry. I'll do it with the other shoe. And of course, now you'll see how clean they get compared to before. That stuff is incredible, right? So this is Saphir. It is a long French name, but it's a clear liquid as opposed to the Renomat or Renomau. This is specifically for nubuck, stretch microfibers, right? Basically, it's safe for suede. I always like to mix in a little bit of water. I always like to dilute things. I do that with every Saphir product, especially or except the Renovateur. Now, Renovateur is interesting, right? Because I don't use it on shoes like this. If it's got any kind of patina, museum, burnishing, I'm real careful, because I've been reading more and more that Renovateur has solvents that are, they're supposed to clean and get kind of dilute out buildup, and it can damage over time patina like this. This is a wine shadow, right? Wine shadow finish from Carlos Santos. I got this from the Noble Shoe, which is the only place I buy Carlos Santos shoes. I linked it already below. If I haven't mentioned, I've had a little bit of an experience with Carlos Santos, lost a fair amount of money, and ended up not keeping the shoe because of sizing issues. Whereas had I gone to the Noble Shoe, they have a size guide. Carlos Santos is almost always a half size large. So I wear a UK 9.5 in just about everything, but in this loafer, I'm a UK 9. Keep that in mind. Now on the Noble Shoe Guide, he does have some true to size lasts. Fantastic detailed guide on Carlos Santos shoes. It's linked below. But I've gone one half size down on everything. I got a couple shoes like this one. So this is the Derby I talked about. I'll link it below if it's still available. I think it is. This Wine Shadow Loafer comes in almost all of them, of the Carlos Santos different patinas. Noble Shoe works with them. You can actually make to order or have made to order shoes like this in the patina you want. I'm wearing this for the first time this week. Really excited because this is what I call an all-season year-round loafer because of the darker color. You notice that it's called wine. When I do the shoe review, you'll see I have it on the table. It has almost a whiskey look to it. Now, when I put like Bordeaux or Burgundy, especially Burgundy color belts or oxblood, they look up next to it. They look nothing like this. So don't think when you see wine shadow, don't think oxblood or Burgundy. This is much more of a shade of brown as it mixes with shadow. Imagine like a darker Bordeaux mixing with black, and it almost comes out and almost darkens it to a point where it looks like a whiskey. And I use neutral wax polish from Saphir on this as well. And as you can see, it's just gorgeous. These are really going to pop. Can't wait to wear these. The problem is there's some weather. Every time I go to wear these, there's weather. And I have shoes specifically for wet and inclement weather. That's a show coming up. I'm going to share my shoe arsenal for when it's raining, when it's bad out, because there are leathers that are just better made or specifically made, like what they call Hydra pull-up, a type of leather from Blackbird shoes, or pebble grain, where they actually turn and toss the leather with stones to toughen it up. You can see the water beads right off of it. So, and then I alluded last week, I do have lesser, cheaper shoes, lower quality leather shoes that have been corrected, as they call corrected grain leather, that I also wear, like a pair from Taboot, New York, that I got real cheap from the Nordstrom rack. Those are fantastic to wear when the weather's inclement because they have a rubber sole, which is a must, and that leather has been treated, so it's going to resist water. The trade-off is it doesn't shine up as well. You're not going to get a mirror shine with corrected grain leather because there's a layer of treatment, and it's so important as I get better and better at mirror shine that wax, that leather, that hard wax, like the Saphir mirror gloss, gets deep into the leather pores. That's how it brings out that shine. It's those layers of leather, essentially, that have been absorbed into the actual grain, and that doesn't happen with corrected or treated grain leather. So guys, thanks for tuning in. That's it. Like I said, show's coming up. The 5 things someone needs to know about you to give you fashion advice. Gave you a freebie there, guys. Do not worry about wearing sleek, square, chiseled toe derbies in black or dark brown with your suits. They're absolutely fantastic for lace-ups with your suits. And of course, check out the Noble shoe for that. That's just my free plug for them. I'm not getting paid to endorse this absolute gorgeous Wine Shadow Loafer. Also, of course, I already did endorse them on the Derby too, Carlos Santos. And can't wait for you guys to let me know. I can already tell you it looks better. See how it's dried up? And I didn't take any breaks, so it already looks much cleaner. I'll put a closer picture up as I put it side by side to the suede and nubuck cleaner from Saphir. The Panama boat shoe is still available. They're on a real serious markdown if that sale's still going on because it's end of summer, right? It's August. And so Allen Edmonds is offloading these. I've got this one, and I've got the dark brown traditional boat shoe color. Couldn't be happier. Had them for the last 3 months all summer. And this has been an everyday summer outdoor and casual shoe to wear just about any time. That's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you are not, please subscribe. Smash that button down below. Hit a like if you can, and tune in next time. I'll have a podcast show next week. And as always, stay prime.